ti wá lórí ìkọ́sọ́nà lẹ́nu wa lórí ọ̀nà wa láti mọ ibi tí a wà àtọ́ tí a ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ olórí ọlọ́run tí a ń jàǹfà ní ọlọ́mọ àkàkọ́ lára wa àti àsìkò ìdúpẹ́ lọ gbogbo àwọn ẹni wa àwọn bàbá wa ẹ̀yìn ìran wa láti jọ wà bí láti àsìkò tí a ti ń retí àlejò wa àbí ọlọ́run kí àsìkò tí a ti ní ìparadà yìí ọlọ́run kò tó wá lẹ́sùn dáadáa nípa àpàjùlọ gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa tí wọ́n ti wà níkàlẹ̀ ní àbá ní ọjọ́ lórílẹ̀ èdè lọ́jọ́ lórílẹ̀ èdè wọ́n bá ní ìjókòó ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ gbà láti jókòó lórí ìfẹ́ sí ìpínlẹ̀ wa lórílẹ̀-èdè ọlọ́run bá lékun ẹ̀mí nígbòkun yín tó máa lálàáfíà ní ẹ̀rọ ìṣàkóso ọ̀rọ̀ wa àlàáfíà àti ìmúdẹ̀ nílé ìjẹta ọlọ́run wa sílẹ̀ fún ilé ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ ìgbéga ní lẹ́sìn tẹ́ ń kọ́ wa orí kálí ìdèrè láyé àtijọ́rùn àwọn ọmọ ní àtẹ̀yìn náà ọlọ́run kó sí dáadáa bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa lálá táwọn àwọn àwọn wọ́dà nílá ìgbéga ní ìlànà ètò tí agbékalẹ̀ yìí òun náà ni tí gbogbo àgbáríjọ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn tí agbékalẹ̀ láti ṣe ìdájókòó sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú gbogbo ọmọ adígbé gbogbo gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Ètò yìí ìtafẹ́ jẹlérè jẹ́ náà ní wípé ájọ wò ìdásípọ̀ ájọ wo ibi tá a bá dé àwọn òbí tó kù sí ẹ wá jẹ́ kí àwọn tí wọ́n nílé gbogbo wọ́n lè sọ fún wa tí ó fi tá a bá dé yìí kí lọ́nà àbáyọ kí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ilé ìrìn àfẹ́gbọ́ láti ẹnu àlejò wa tá a bá ti pè àwọn tá a ti pè wọ́n wá àwọn tí ó sì wá àwọn àdáǹsì wọn fún wa yé pé wọn wà náà níbi àsìkò yìí láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìnà àkọ́kọ́ ní ogun orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà mo rọ̀ wá pé láti dé ní ti ìgbókò orílẹ̀-èdè wa Nàìjíríà àjọṣe national anthem. Olùgbé àjókòó káfà ètò ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ìṣẹ́yà. Ìṣẹ́yà ìṣẹ́yà ọmọ Ògùn ìṣẹ́yà Ẹlẹ́dùmarè ìṣẹ́ máa yá o.
Sallu ala Nabi al-Karim. Ní orúkọ bàbá wa Governorship Imam gbogbo Ẹ̀gbá, wọ́n kí àlejò kú àbọ̀. Wọ́n ní session tí a fẹ́ ṣe yìí, Ọlọ́run kí ó bá bójútó kó fàlùbáríkà sí Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin.
Thank you very much. Nísìnyí nígbà tá a ti fi Ọlọ́run Ẹlẹ́dàá wa síwájú, a fẹ́ fi àlejò wa a fẹ́ kí n káàbọ̀ bọ̀kẹ́ lè mọ àwọn tí wọ́n wà níkàlẹ̀. Lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ni pé ìjókòó yìí ìjókòó àwọn mùsùlùmí ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ni. Ẹnìkankan tẹ́ rí níbí níjókòó àbí tó ń lọ tó ń bọ̀, ó ní àwọn ohun tó sopọ̀ mọ́ òun náà ní ìjọ. Tabaliki gbogbo àwọn mùsùlùmí pàdé ń bí náà tó mọ bó ṣe máa rí. So àwọn adarí wa, àwọn bàbá wa, àwọn aṣáájú wa wọ́n wà níkàlẹ̀. Àwọn olórí ní sọ̀rí Muslim organizations from across the four zones in Ogun State, Yewa, Rẹ́mọ, Ìjẹ̀bú àti Ẹ̀gbá ni gbogbo wa wà ń bí ni à ń gbàlejò yìí láti bá ṣe ìfìlùkùn olùkù pẹ̀lú yín. Níjókòó lápá ọ̀tún mi bí a ní bàbá wa àgbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ President General fún League of Imams and Alfas. Wọ́n ní adarí gbogbo wa ní Ogun State lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Bàbá wa Sekulai Babalọ́lá wọ́n kí n káàbọ̀ sí ìdí ètò yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà la rí ní ìtẹ̀lé wọn bàbá wa àgbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ ìmáàmù gbogbo ìlú Rẹ́mọ, bàbá wa Sheikh Al-Imam Abdulkadir Junaid, àwọn náà kí n káàbọ̀. Bàbá wa àgbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ Grand Chief Imam ìlú Ìjẹ̀bú, ó yẹ kí àwọn náà wà pẹ̀lú wa, ṣùgbọ́n nítorí pé ọmọ pọ̀ àwọn náà ní assignment kan, wọ́n gbìyànjú láti wà ń bí pẹ̀lú wa. Wọ́n wà ń bí throughout lánàá, but fún ìdí pàtàkì kan wọ́n sí pẹ̀lú wa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ bá ti wà ń bí, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní ẹni tí ó wá ṣojú fún wọn bí. Àwọn náà ní bàbá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ kẹtàdínní fún gbogbo ìlú Ìjẹ̀bú, àwọn náà wà bí wọ́n kí n káàbọ̀. Bàbá wa àgbà lẹ́gbàá ń bí tí wọ́n jẹ́ bàbá wa Chief Imam of Egbaland, bàbá wa Sheikh Al-Imam Sadara Ibangbola, àwọn náà kí wọ́n ní kí ẹ káàbọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la ní àwọn olótùú wa ní oríṣiríṣi níkàlẹ̀. Bàbá wa àgbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ Secretary General the League of Imams and Alfas, àwọn náà wà ń bí. Bàbá wa Tajudeen Mustapha Adeyemi wọ́n wà níkàlẹ̀ ń bí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ la ní àwọn zonal leaders wa ní oríṣiríṣi, president and secretaries and so on for Muslim organizations tí wọ́n wà ń bí. Àwọn tí wọ́n máa bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ panelist wa tẹ̀tẹ̀ máa fọ̀rọ̀ jómi tó rọrọ̀, àwọn náà wà ní kàlẹ̀ ń bí. A ní àwọn mẹ́rin láti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ nu wọn náà ni ìyá wa mi máa tó ní bí wọ́n ṣe jókòó, ṣùgbọ́n ìyá tí mo kọ́ fẹ́ pè é fún àǹfààní gbogbo àtàwà ń bí. Hajiya Zainab Junaid, àwọn náà wà lọ́wọ́ tún mi, ọwọ́ àlàáfíà mi lákọ̀ọ́kọ́. Wọ́n ti ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbìyànjú lórí ètò tá a ṣe yìí. Àwọn náà wà ní department kébí mápàlú lágbà tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí, tí wọ́n ń lọ tó ń bọ̀, tí wọ́n ń lọ sọ́jà tán rí pé ẹnu wa ò gbófo. Kọ́lọ́mbà àsan yín lẹ́sàn dáadáa. Gbólé tẹ ṣe ń kọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó yé Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ rí. Kọ́lọ́mbà ṣe dáadáa fún yín. Wọ́n wà lórí panel, wọ́n wà náà panelist wa ń sìn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ìyá wa àgbà Alhaja Dr. Mulkat Abdulsalam, àwọn náà wà pẹ̀lú wọn, àwọn náà wà lọ́wọ́ ọ̀tún wọn. Lẹ́yìn eléyìí ó kan bàbá wa Professor Abdulrazak Abdulkarim, àwọn náà wà pẹ̀lú wọn. Lẹ́yìn eléyìí ó kan bàbá wa àgbà nọ́ọ̀sì àkọ́kọ́ ní Nàìjíríà for a very long time, kan tó tún fẹ́ lómi síbẹ̀, nọ́ọ̀sì àkọ́kọ́ ní Nàìjíríà àbí ní Nàìjíríà, nọ́ọ̀sì àkọ́kọ́ bàbá wa Abdulrafio Adeniji, you're welcome. àwọn panelists wà ní ẹ̀ ẹni tó jókòó tó jọ ń wòra yín lọ́ọ̀kan tẹ wà nínú almost the same flat tẹ jọ ń wòra yín lọ́ọ̀kan ọ̀ni chairman session yìí seasoned professor of Federal University of Agriculture Professor Tajudeen Arowolo ọ̀ni chairman session yìí ẹni tó bá ní kápá lórí ẹnu ló ní kápá lórí ẹnu ẹ̀ níbo àtàwà bí gbogbo ta kọ́lẹ̀ yìí àti àpọ́nlé fọlọ́run ká sọ pé Allahu Akbar àdúpẹ́ ètò yìí máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìnyí láti gbà lẹ́yìn tá a bá gbọ́rọ̀ díẹ̀ afẹ́ kí chairman kan bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ díẹ̀ nípa kí wọ́n kí ń káàbọ̀ àti kí wọ́n jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ mọ nǹkan tí àwa mùsùlùmí gbèrò nípa ètò yìí níwọ̀nba ṣókí lẹ́yìn eléyìí a máa play video clip kan fún yín kẹ́ ẹ lè rí bí àwa mùsùlùmí ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn kẹ́ tó response wa Mr. Chairman sir you have the microphone. Yes ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mo kí gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa àwọn Imams wa League of Imams and Alfas ẹjọ́ torí tọ́lọ́run ẹ jẹ́ kí n dúró lórí protocol tí adarí wa aṣíwájú wa Dr. Robert Bushmo ti establish torí ti bá tún ní kí n máa kà á ní kọ̀ọ̀kan àti jókòó fún wákàtí méjì yóò ti rẹ̀ wá ká dúró lórí establish protocol. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa mo kí gbogbo members of the panelists mo kí guest wa we've been waiting for you àti jókòó so we are eager to listen to you. èyí tó ṣe pàtàkì jù fún wa ní pé àsìkò tá a lè gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu àwọn tó fẹ́ darí wa rèé experience Nigeria so máa ń wà interesting ìgbà táwọn politician máa ń mọ̀ pa wà náà lásìkò yìí ìgbà yẹn náà fẹ́ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ so ó dáa ká gbé wọn bá ṣe pé wọ́n yìí kí wọ́n bá sọ̀rọ̀ ó dáa púpọ̀ so mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ League of Imams and Alfas tó consider láti pé program yìí important láti lè pe àwọn governorship aspirants ẹ wá ẹ̀mí ò ní waste time púpọ̀ mi sí i ó dàbí pé ó yẹ ká move to the next program really ní ìgbà tán bá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ tó la máa lè wá tó round up so aṣíwájú wa leader wa brother Dr. Robert Bushmo I'm happy to be here and I think we can just kick off straight up without wasting time sir. Thank you sir.
Thank you very much sir. Dr. Arolo, Professor Arolo, you have not changed. You have not changed a bit. Bí Ọlọ́run ṣe pọ́n yín létò bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ga tó náà lẹ ṣe máa ń kúrú wálẹ̀ tó báwọn ọmọ kéékèèké ṣe àpọ́nlé láṣọ tọ́lọ́wọ́ fún yín kọ́lọ́ má jẹ́ ó fàyà ẹ bá mi ṣàmì fún wọn gbogbo wa it's always like that always like that iyì tó máa lékún lórí iyì kọ́lọ́mbà wa ṣe fún yín. A ní kalẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa ta fẹ́ ṣe ìbásọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ nísìnyí ẹni wa a fẹ́ kí wọ́n introduce ara wọn fún wa tẹ́ bá ti introduce ara yín introductions ẹ sọ orúkọ yín àti party yín fún wa then we go straight into this please thank you.
Thank you very much. Mo kí àwọn bàbá wa and said by my father here I will stand on the existing protocol too. Orúkọ tèmi ni ọmọọba Harrison Adeyemi ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú ní Ogun State ọmọ Ogun water side ìlú mi gangan ní abúlé kan tó máa ń pè ní Ibo ní Ogun water side. Our party is AAC, African Action Congress. Ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́wọ́ méjì papọ̀ ní symbol wa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We ready? So, everyone pay attention síbẹ̀ yẹn. Oh yeah.
The electioneering process, Islam and leadership. Interactive session with the governorship candidates 2023 electioneering process, Islam and leadership. Leadership is an integral and critical part of life of human beings. Its effectiveness brings people of diverse backgrounds, sex, age, ethnicity, race, color, education, religion, political affiliations together on a common path and lead them towards their desired goals. A good leader therefore transforms the potentials of people into a desirable reality. In Islam, leadership is choice made by Almighty Allah. Leaders should therefore be chosen on the basis of their characteristics and strengths, on the extent of their purification, and on the richness of their divine knowledge. Leaders are the servant of those they lead. Consequently, leadership should recognize the authority and sovereignty of the Creator of the heavens and earth. Be conscious of the authority of the Creator. Ensure their decisions with Him. Consult the people in their affairs and guide them with compassion and mercy. Leadership is about responsibility and accountability. Our state has had its own fair share of the good, the bad, and the ugly expected of any human groupings or society. An abridged catalogue is presented for your view. For any meaningful addition to any human development, the understanding of the past and the present are sacrosanct. The journey into the future can only be better if the driver understands the past better so he can avoid the potholes and carefully navigate the bends. Our dear state is the fourth state with the largest IGR as at 2021, 100.7 billion naira. 24th in terms of GDP, $10.47 billion. It has average budget of about 402 billion naira, an average expenditure of 384 billion naira. Recorded budget deviation performance of 31.70%, ranked 10th in the fiscal performance for 2022, ranked 6th in terms of its dependency on the federally distributed revenue, ranked 10th in terms of ability to grow revenue year on year, ranked 36th in terms of the available public revenue for honoring the capital expenditure component of the budget, ranked 33rd in terms of the debt comparative profile. Ogun State has the highest number of higher institutions in the country, 16th most populous state with a head count of 3.8 million people as at 2006 and an estimate of between 5 and 6 million now. Ogun State produced the first armored vehicle ARA in Nigeria, largest producer of limestone in Nigeria and indeed in Africa, leading state in terms of generating royalties for federal government, has over 10 untapped mineral resources, not among the top mineral producing states, major producer of some agricultural products like cassava, rice, and poultry, ranked 18th on the ease of doing business, imported just $30.46 million to its economy, spent 1,920 naira on health per head, spent 6,305 naira on education per head. It has a payroll size of 29,528, has pensioner list of 14,124. The Treasury single account implementation just 0.91% of its finances. Ogun State does not have approved cash management strategy. The state's highest share of annual spending on the agriculture sector was 4.36% in 2019 and far below the 10% recommended benchmark. Ogun State has a vast, about 74% arable land, which is optimal for agricultural activities. The state also has vast rubber plantations in commercial quantities estimated at 500 hectares. Many local farmers had abandoned their farms for the fear of kidnappers. These are our demands. Our demands are not exhaustive due to the limited space and exigency of time. We shall from time to time reach out as we deemed fit as new ones are observed. The first one is the economy. We want positive changes in the ranking of the state with respect to all the parameters highlighted above. The incoming administration should make frantic effort to grow the IGR through untapped mineral resources, implement the TSC to the letter, evolve a cash management strategy and block all revenue leakages in the hope of becoming the state with the largest IGR or second. Reduce its budget performance deviation to the recommended 15%. Evolve a functional help desk with a view of driving service delivery in the public sector. Deploy the use of information technology in its operations and service delivery. Guide against unnecessary borrowing and emphasize the use of public-private partnership arrangement to deliver public goods. Clear backlog of staff deductions and pension arrears. We also expect the incoming administration to pay salaries and pensions as and when due. Improve the ease of doing business in the state and also grow the capital importation to about $10 billion, focusing more on foreign direct investment, especially with the untapped mineral resources and agriculture. Create an agency to support startup businesses and SMEs beyond the advancement of loans. Grant functional autonomy to local government and hand off some of their sources of finance. Evolve strategy to recruit, train, and keep qualified personnel in the state, especially those in the education, medical, and information technology sector. Drive talent hunt from among the bona fide citizens of the state and adequately reward excellence, innovation, and discoveries. Rebrand the state using its vast potentials of human and material resources. Create data banks and train data analytics. Decision of incoming administration should be information driven because the effectiveness and efficiency of one's decision is a function of the quality and quantity of information at hand. 2. Rights. We request the government of our dear state to ensure inclusiveness of all sections and poles of the state with equity, fairness, equality, and egalitarianism as instruments in the running of government to achieve the much desired progress and development. Equity, equality, justice, and fairness should be maintained as a standard in the distribution of appointment and benefits from government. Now to education. Ensure budgetary allocation to the education sector consistently meets the minimum benchmark for education. Increase its capital spending on education and health to 10,000 naira per head. We demand the restoration of unhindered teaching of IRS in schools aided by pragmatic employment and deployment of IRS teachers. On security, evolve and sustain security innovation towards crime prevention. Pay special cognizance to the security monitoring of the large influx of non-indigens into the state who mostly engages in commercial motorcycle transportation. We request that our roads be saved from Russians parading themselves as ticketers for motorcycle operators and commercial vehicles. Their menace on the road pose a security threat. Concerted effort should be made to curb gross indiscipline and delinquencies among our youth. Now to agriculture. Revolutionize the state's agronomy with adequate investment or financial commitment.
Your Excellency, this is the way Ogun people have seen it, particularly Muslims. I'm sure you want to commend the Muslims in this state for doing this good job. Having said that, I will now hand over the mic to the chairman to call the panelists in the manner you may wish to do, sir. The other you may wish to do. How do you intend to call the panelists? Call.
We can start just as the way our leader introduced the members of the panel. Kápẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn alájà wa, àwọn màmá wa, káde máa lọ gradually there. I think it's better that way. Alájà.
Sola Nabil Keri, Sola Nabil Mustafa, Asubiyan Mishitan Rojim, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. We thank Almighty Allah for opportunity given to us to be here today. May Almighty Allah take all what we are doing as Atan in bad. I want to talk on education, sir. Maybe we will talk on our language so that people that are hearing our house would understand, especially our old modern at home. Sir, lórí education, which is very much important. Both the Western and Arabic education is very much important for our children. If you can see now, our education the weight ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ wa ni wọ́n sọ lọ sábọ̀ láti lọ kàwé. Kí ló dẹ̀ fà ní wípé wọn sanwó àwọn tíṣà wọn déédéé. If you have many teachers now, wọ́n ní wọ́n jà wọ́n lówó. Even got the pensioner, wọ́n jẹ wọ́n lówó. Ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Number 2, sir, our religions, both the Christian and Muslim, wọ́n jẹ́ kó practice so much in school more, especially the IRK, which is Islamic religion study. So why important? Because nínú àwọn religion yẹn làwọn ọmọ wa ti ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ gidi. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ sà, báwo ni ìjọba yín ṣe fẹ́ ṣe tó jẹ́ pé Islamic religions yẹn ó máa wà ní gbogbo school wa káàkiri? Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣì dúró báyìí ná àbí kí n continue àwọn question wa sà. Sir? I should continue. Okay, ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bá answer yẹn.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello. Please sit down, please. After all the questions, he can then respond. Please take notes. Alaja, Bismillah.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I want to ask health. I'm asking question on health. In a speech announcing the coup of 1983 that brought in General Muhammad Buhari into power, General Sani Abacha then, said that, among other things, that the reason why they had that coup was because our hospitals have been turned into consulting clinics. That was then. And I want to believe that probably at that time, those people are lucky because they still find doctors on ground. Go to our hospitals today, there are no doctors, no equipment, nothing at all. I worked at the state hospital some time ago. The doctor on ground was writing prescription while dozing. And I had to call the attention of the nurse standing by, that the doctor is sleeping. Hope he's not going to write, a wrong prescription for the patient. He said, well, he will look at it again, that he's been on duty for 3 days, not going home, not sleeping. Now, if you come to power, sir, what are you going to do? So that our people who are not fortunate to have that money to go to private hospitals or travel outside the country will have the opportunity of using these, state hospitals. People have resorted to using herbs, agbo, concussion of different types because they cannot afford, they can't afford to travel out and they cannot afford to go to private hospitals. So what is the government going to do if I elected into power? Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I also want to join or welcome the aspirant of AAC to our midst. And from the slides that has been presented to us, there are some salient issues that were
observation, sir. He is candidate.
A candidate, yes, yes. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I want to ask on the unemployment among the youth, which has reached almost about 33% in this country. Coming back to Ogun State, what effort do you want to put in place to be to reducing the unemployment among the youth in Ogun State? Then, the second issue has to do with the debt profile of Ogun State, which is around 241.7 billion. And the arguments over the years has always been that when the governor comes on board, the argument is that, the past administration, the debt they left behind is making us not to do anything. So, and looking at the debt profile and the governance, how do you want to reconcile that when you come in, you not be telling us that, I can't do anything for now because of the debt I met on ground or the opposition. So I want you to look at this, that if you are elected under your party as a governor, how do you want to reconcile this? And the issue of the pensioners, always, every time you listen to radio, the issue of, pensioners always crying. And the argument is that, 2.41.78 billion is on ground. How do we reconcile? That's my own question for you, sir. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. While joining others to welcome our AAC candidate here into the gubernatorial seat of Ogun State, I have the following questions to ask you, and we believe your address to us today is a contract with Ogun State people. We want you, in all sincerity, to tell us what you have in mind for us. On earth, there are various issues confronting earth, not only in Ogun State, but particularly in Ogun State. Ogun State has been found to be one of the states that in healthcare financing are spending more to finance health out of pocket expenses. And every year budget are being proposed and passed. Another problem to that one is the fact that budget will be passed, but release of funds for the budget is always the healthcare financing budget is always, the performance is not always very encouraging. What are you going to do in the area of healthcare financing? Are we expecting free healthcare services, or is it qualitative healthcare services? We have talked about personnel. Doctors, nurses, pharmacists are traveling, and Ogun State is one of the states that is suffering this man. What are you going to do to ensure retention of recruited healthcare services after being recruited, just like it has been asked? Education. Qualitative education is the one that can benefit any nation. But what we have in most of the places. I'm very happy that you come from Ogun waterside area, and we know that there are very many hard to reach places in that area. If you choose Ogun waterside as an example, what do you think will be the best strategy to approach transformation of education in Ogun State? Security. We want to talk about agriculture, we want to talk about health, we want to talk about education. How do we solve the problem of insecurity that has sent many people away from the farm and are not making our fathers to stay in the farm again? A bag of rice, we know how much it costs today. We have lowland rice in Waterside, we have in Obafemi Owode here, but they are not thriving. There are some states like Kebbi who has transformed their local rice into what matters, and rice is one of the very good source of food, staple food. What do you think from your experience and your decision or your focus will be the solution to this? If I want to stay here, if these questions are answered, maybe a door to other ones. Thank you.
Your Excellency, I hand over the mic to you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate our fathers and the organizers of this program today, because it begins to identify the kind of person to elect into the office. If this has been done before, I think we should have choose the best leader for ourselves that will run the government positively for us in Ogun State. Because we just choose a leader by the opinions of their various party alone, and when they get there, they only look after their party. Whereas the party is different to the citizen of the state, which I think the obligations of anybody to be a governor in the state is to oversee in the affairs of the people he was governed. But the leader of today abandoned that. They don't do it. Those are the things we think to come into the government, to take back the government from them, and we do what our people want. There's one thing that is peculiar in this aspect, that take everything together is indiscipline. Once we take away indiscipline, everything will be put together, the structure will be standard. That is why I said, in my poster people do see that movement of restructuring to bring back the lost glory of Ogun State. I cannot be talking of Nigeria at large. Let's talk about our home first. I really appreciate the type and the kind of questions you ask from me. Now, the educational structure we are talking about, I have it as a focus in my government. But what we should first attend to is to let our children have a discipline first. Most of the students that we have today, they don't have a discipline. The lecturers are not giving them moral training at all. Even the parents at home are not giving them too. They wake in the morning and go to their various offices and forgetting giving their children home training. So this is why you see most of our youth going around the street, taking drugs, misbehave. Now at the age of 12 years, 11, we see our female children pregnant, which is wrong. It's because we leave them, we don't care about them. Education is not really about learning how to speak in public alone. It's about giving them how to behave in society. This is what our people lack. In the educational sectors, when I was in the House of Assembly, I'm a two-time lawmaker in Ogun State House of Assembly. I've said it before the NLC today. I left there before coming to this place. When I was in that place, I see how our parents are suffering before they can pay the school fees of their children at the university level. Some go to the extent of selling the land they inherited from their parents. The mother will go and sell it. And yet, the children that we use the money for will not be serious in the school because the teachers are negligent of their duty as well as their mother at home. It is the obligation of a housewife or a mother to train their daughter or their son because the men are always busy looking for what they will take. When I was in the house, when I look of what to do to rescue the parent, I call upon all those who have an appointment in that place. I call the commissioner. I am a member of the House of Assembly. I call the House of Rep. I call the board chairman that was zoned to my local government. The school fees of our children is 60,000. Okay, now let us contribute 10,000 together to make it a 40 or 50,000 to give it as a bursary to the parent of the children in order to relieve their parent across the local government. But as I was wondering, calling this meeting, all other reviews, they thought I wanted to expose them to the public, what they are earning in the office. But at my own strength, I give out 20,000 to support the parents of the university students in my local government all the time as the bursary. But I believe by now if I get to office, this is why I do tell people that I'm going to give them free education. And there will not be strike in my state. There's no reason you will be going for strike. You are going for a strike because of your own need and to the detriment of the children. It's not done. If the federal government did not respond on time, I think the state government should attempt and get to some extent to solve the problem of the teachers so that the students can go back. In a situation where a children should spend 4 years, they turn it to be 7 years, which is wrong. It's because we don't see them. We don't see the children. The leader doesn't see them as their own. Because their children did not go to that public school, all of their children are in abroad. And another major problem confronting our education in Ogun State and Nigeria at large is the private school is almost a problem to it. The private school, yes, they were giving sound educations to our children, but they were paying much, and our people are paying. And since our people are paying that money, the government believes they have the capacity to pay any tax they put on them to pay, because they were receiving equal education in two aspects. But I believe when I get to that place, all this thing will be something of the past. I will look into it and I tackle it. There are a lot of lecturers in the school who are not even going to school to give them their lecture at the appropriate time that stays in their house. These are the two we need to start. That's why I said indiscipline. Indiscipline is the major problem of education in Nigeria and in Ogun State, because they don't tell the children how to know the difference between right and wrong. So that's what I think that one is all about. The second question, I think somebody is asking about autonomy. I've addressed that issue today somewhere. Autonomy is very vital and germane, which I promised the people of Ogun State that my 100 days in office will be the approval of autonomy. Because the state has ability to approve autonomy that they refuse. It's because what they wanted to take under it. What is called autonomy? It's a direct allocation. The fund that is sent to the local government to care for the people and do the appropriate capital project in that place and protect the people. And once this money is not going to the local government, the state economy cannot balance. The capital project cannot balance because this money was directing to a wrong purse. They direct it to another place where they can be able to steal the money. At the local government level too, if they have been using autonomy before the councilling, they will still steal the money. But it's better we send it to them because by the time they were collecting the autonomy, the local government, every local government is still better than the situation they are now. We have to return the autonomy and set up a panel, a committee to monitor that money. I told them, who are these panel that is supposed to be sent to be coordinated there? The chief of Imam, the cabinet in the local government, the baale, the police officer that are there, the youth. They will sit down together. You will be boldly, if you don't want to steal the money of the state, you will be boldly to go on air and announce the amount of money go to every local government. This is 130 million go to local government. This committee, including their councillor, tell us what they want to use the money for. Because the excuse of all the past governor and the present one was that the salary they are paying on teacher and some deduction and everything. These people said, give our money for us. We can handle everything. You said no. And it is their money. Leave it for them. Let them do it. I want to assure everybody here, the autonomy in my 100 days in office will be to every local government. It's a matter of telling them to direct the allocation to them and then I monitor the allocation. What they don't know about it is that giving allocations to every local government, we will relieve the governor running here and there. Since I was born, if not this new era that I see a government of the state commissioning covered. A covered is the obligations of the chairman of the council. A governor is commissioning borehole. It is not the obligations of the governor of the state. It is a mere project given to councillor to assist their people in their various community as their constituency project. But it becomes something that the governor will be going there because of what they want to steal commission. So all these things, I am going to stop it by the grace of God because I know with God everything is possible. So I want to assure every one of us that autonomy in Ogun State will not expect the approval of federal government once the allocation is sending every month. If at all the allocation is not sending, the revenue is up to the tax of giving the autonomy to everything. We have larger revenue in the state. And what can help to also solve all this problem? It is the boosting and increment in the revenue. And the increment in the revenue, we are talking about it should not affect the people that has been paying tax before. All we do to increase it is to add more, to generate more source of getting revenue. Like for instance, we have federal road here. When this government was there, I asked him to construct this road from Junction Street. We know it's a federal government road, but federal government did not bear the brunt. It is the people of Ogun State are bearing the pains. But the Constitution said we can use resources of our states to do it, that the federal government will pay us back. There are a lot of money we approved when I was in the house to Senator Amos, the former governor of Ogun State. He did a lot of federal government projects, and federal government returned the money when they are mature. They pay everything back to the account of the state government. I told him, to this we could connect every local government. We can be able to bring out all our farmers' resources to the main town, but he refused. There's one thing, there is something we can do from here. There are a lot of things that we can generate between this junction to Basheke, no, not Basheke, Oshiele. That left and right give opportunity for a surplus lock-up shop. Between left and right, we can have not less than 30,000 lock shop before we get to Oshiele. We put lock-up shop here, other three-story building here. The middle one is third road with the light. Even the lights inside the shops, the lock-up shop, will reflect in the road both day and night. That will not be darkness. When we have like that one, like 30,000 lock-up shop in Ogun State, but our youth that are not qualified to do civil servant work, they are the one making problem. They are the one causing insecurity, causing crime in the state. Then we put them there, we give them job. You said people are troubling you, and it's because they are hungry. Find solution, create a job for them, let them busy. Anybody that busy cannot go for crime. In the morning you go to your shop, get a shop for them, open a place for them, let them pay back as revenue. Once you do it, you invested that money, that allocation. That one will bring it back. The money will be returned to the purse of the government. What about Olobo was in the system? Olobo planted 9 government reserves in Ogun State before he died. The 9 local government reserves we are talking about, no one exists than J4O, and that J4O is almost go to exile. Our leaders, they were going there, they exploit what is inside. They don't give back to the farm. Instead of felling the tree and replant another one with the government said the 10% of what you generated in the government reserve should be given back to the government reserve to restructure the place for the unborn one or yet to born children. But they did not do it. When I was in the house, this is the cause of argument between me and my governor. That we have 9 local government. No one is longer existing. Go to another road, it's not functioning. Go to Yewa, go to Kokia, go to Kuwa, it's not functioning. But you now as a governor, you are taking this thing, you are tapping these resources. If Obama would not do it there, we will be able to do it. Therefore, we should go back to that square one and restructure these things. We need to go back to our government reserve. In terms of agriculture, we will put in finance, restructure and rebuild the place for the sake of the ones that are coming. The greediness that is worrying our leader is that what I did for the people, I must earn it before I leave. But a good leader, you will do it. You will leave it and go. Other people will reap it for this, in favor of those that are coming. But our new leader nowadays just want to do it like Baba Awolowo did it. But by the grace of God, how we do it in the sectors of agriculture, I think that one will take a larger portions of the allocations. It will not be based on percentage, because that is the strength of this state. We have a very good land to invest upon. As like my daddy said, we have it, we don't utilize it. And the major problem is that our youth at times, once they graduated, they don't want to do a job that they think is not befitting. All of them wanted to live in a very buoyant life. We need to give them orientation. We need to build our home. We give them enough salary. The salary they are taking, giving these people are too small. The wage has to be increased based on the revenue we generated in the state. If we don't steal this money, if our leader is not ready to steal this money, actually we should get what we got. The money will be surplus. Everything will be enough to care for the people. But because of our greediness, because of the leader greediness, That's when we talk about leadership. We haven't got a qualified leadership in Ogun State. We will still get fake one, because they want to be number 3 in the country. Anybody who want to lead the state wanted to be number 3 of the richest, of the richest, among the richest in the state or in the country. That person will actually stay, because we wanted to be a person to be recognized everywhere. You cannot be careful for you to get to number 3 and still care for the people that elect you. You pick one out of the 2. But our people are picking to be rich than the caring of the people. We want to tell you, sir, that when we get to that place, all these things will be tackled. But with your support, this thing can be possible. In the aspect of religions of the thing that you said, I still want to give kudos to the Islamic religion too. They were giving their children enough orientation to some extent. They are now like Christian. Christian brief their own children too. I'm a Christian too, but it's not constant like Muslim. Muslim, I do observe them when they were preaching, when they are in their mosque, they advise, they give their children orientations, and their norm, their wives still abide with their norms. When they get a religious Islamic woman, they still cover their head anywhere they are. That structure still encourage, and they still have fear. They believe in their people. That shows they are more okay. If you talk to them, to their daughter, they will listen. They have the fairness of God to some extent. So I will beg you to still continue and continue, because that is where the problem of this country come from. Our children are not ready to comply with the policy of something, and they are too after money, too much after money. Our children is not thinking of anything than money. They believe when they get money, they have everything. They don't think about integrity. Like I get there, you said Baba is a professor. Baba did not run to America because he was a professor to stay in America that cannot stay here. But our children is not ready to endure. These are the things we need to do. I think we need to be setting up seminar all the time, which is the part of the government, which I will be doing all the time. That will be seminar to address the youth at the center of the state, which is Abeokuta here. We will be going there. The Christian will be there. The Muslim, the Imam will be there. We invite them, we give them orientation time to time. We sponsor it. That's how it should be. In the aspect of pilgrimage or no pilgrimage, that is sealed in the system of government. We will do it. But the only lacuna that was there, which the government are doing, they are not choosing people according to their perfectness. They were choosing people according to members of their party, which is wrong. Some people cannot even salamo, what they call it, cannot even do salamo. They send them to Mecca, to go to Mecca. I continue to look at them. Go and bring the name of so person. Go and bring the name. Someone is not even Muslim, is not Christian. They give him tickets to go to mosque. All these things will be something of the past when I get to that place. It cannot happen. We will consult all the head of a man in every local government before we choose somebody to go to Mecca, to go and take the blessing from that place. And there will be section, I believe there could be section that I will be setting up once every month, that both the Christian and the Muslim will be praying for the state. Because our issue in this state need prayer. Fervent one and serious one. We need it. Particularly upon our children. Their gross misconduct is too high. They abandon them, they give them space to corrupt in line of drugs. I have an hotel. There was a day some guys come to lodge in my hotel. They lodge in my hotel. I was fortunate to be there. See my manager. In the morning, I was just see a lady coming like a dog inside my hotel. He cannot stand a woman naked. I was shocked. Look at that. Going closer to her, baby, what's happening with you? What is going on? See, speech was coming out from the mouth and everything. He has lost control. She has taken drugs beyond his or her power. I have to carry her back inside. Getting inside, the guy that brought her is already weak. I have to put two of them in the bedroom, open water upon them, open the shower before they recover themselves. I asked the lady, why do you take what you cannot control? She said she has taken it. Is that guy that advised him to take little? And that is not the place the parents sent her. They sent her to school. He left the school. Those are the negligences we are talking about, that the indiscipline is causing. So all these are the things we need to look at. For you being a governor of the state, you must protect the lives and the property of the people, particularly lives of the people. The insecurity aspect, I think insecurity was not put in here, but I will add it. The insecurity aspect, it is the obligation of the state through the local government autonomy to make sure enough funds were given to the appropriate chapter. It's not by police alone. The issue of ground is not the issue of police. It's to have enough private security, like Amotekun, civil defense, vigilante. We give them surplus. The state government has to recruit them. You are giving somebody, you recruited people, you take an approval for Amotekun. You do not give them cutlass, you do not give them, you do not approve them for them. You do not approve anything, you ask them to go and apprehend criminal. Can it work? They were using traditional something to arrest the criminal gradually. But if we equip them, they will do more than what they expect to do. We have to do them, give them what they need, what it takes to arrest the criminal. We need to employ them to the volume of 30 to 40,000. That in every road, every community, if it's a single house, there will be security in that place. We need to request from the federal government more police. We need to give them enough cars. See what they are doing in our state. They were duping us. I know. They were duping us. If I get there, if I don't do it, question me.
Thank you.
Demand for my removal.
Thank you.
You will remove me if I don't do it. The
Thank
question is that when you are giving a security for a whole state, you are giving one healers in one local government. And if crisis loom in 3 places in local government, can that one conquer everything? We cannot conquer it. We need to give more cars. We give them more cars as in other country. In almost half kilometer, there will be a car with a police with a people.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency.
Yeah.
I want to plead with you that you please help me to round off on this with the next question I'm going to ask you.
Okay. Okay.
I am saying that you please sit down.
That's what.
Please sit down. Thank you, sir. Please sit down.
Okay.
You are going to round off on this note of the 2 questions I'm going to ask. This program is streamed online.
I know.
Even beyond Nigeria. So
yes.
We have questions now from outside of Nigeria. Can I have the question? This person writes from outside of this place, says, we believe that the government is broke. The next step is to increase the IGR through hunting for individuals and companies by increasing tax and levies. Now, in view of the government being broke and so many things to be done, what do you think you will do to find means of attending to the things that are needed to be attended to without resorting to harming people or making your people uncomfortable? Your Excellency, you have 1 minute to answer that question.
I've said it earlier here that tax, increasing of tax, we need to add more to them to create more ways of generating more revenue. But increasing of tax does not mean the solutions is solved. It is left for the city governor to block all the leakages where people are absorbing the tax collected by the people. Government will set up a body. We don't need to increase the tax that has been there already, but we will create opportunity more to get us. I've given one analysis from here, like lock-up shop, everything, to bring more revenue. If our revenue is 40 billion, we plan how to make it 80 billion, so that it can be able to tackle all the challenges we are facing in this state. So that is the question.
Thank you very much.
Bless you.
Now, Your Excellency, ó wù mí pé kẹ́ ẹ rántí pé tẹ́ ẹ bá ṣe dáadáa ẹ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, àbí tẹ́ ẹ bá ṣe nǹkan tẹ́ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣe ká bèbè fún pé kẹ́ ẹ kúrò lórí oyè, ẹ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ká gbọ́.
That's what I promised in this place. That if I did not do it the way I said it here, all these Muslim in Ogun State should sign for my removal. I will do it. We have enough resources.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Tí èèyàn bá ṣe ìlérí, ìhà wo lẹ kọ sí kéèyàn ṣe ìlérí? Kéèyàn ṣe ìlérí. Ìlérí tẹ́ ṣe yẹn, báwo ló ṣe rí lára yín pé mo ṣe ìlérí fún ẹ̀dá ẹgbẹ́ mi?
I made it because I knew from my mind, from my heart, that I'm going to do it. I know we have the resources to do it.
Okay.
Yes, I agree there's a lot of backlog debt. It's not a forceful thing to pay all debt at once.
Thank you.
We will do what we can do by our ability.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Àsìkò ti lọ púpọ̀. Àwọn bàbá wa dẹ̀ ti jókòó látàárọ̀. In fact, à ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fún àlàáfíà wọn, kọ́lọ́mọ́gbà àlàáfíà Isaac àti ti gbogbo wa náà. Àwọn panelists wa sì ní àwọn ìbéèrè tí wọ́n fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ bọ̀tẹ́ ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run àsìkò ti lọ púpọ̀. A ní àwọn bàbá tó ṣì ń lọ sí Ìjẹ̀bú Òde tó ń lọ sọ́nà jíjìn ẹjọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n eléyìí tá a gbọ́ yìí náà ó ta sánsán díẹ̀ nípa n tá a rò pé ẹ ní lẹ́mìí láti bá wa sọ. Èyí tó kàn sìn ni pé kí chairman wa kàn bá wa ṣe closing remarks níwọ̀n bá àsìkò tó péréte kí a lè fún wọn ní certificate of attendance.
Well, Your Excellency, sir, we have listened to the gubernatorial candidate for AAC. Àti gbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu àwọn bàbá wa Prince Harrison Adeyemi. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti ṣe ìlérí nǹkan táwọn máa ṣe tó bá débẹ̀. Bákan fẹ́ pè láwọn panel wa, members of our panel pé mo mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe gbogbo question yìí náà dáhùn. Ṣé ìkan wà kókó tó jẹ́ kókó tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ kó sọ bóyá just ètò ṣe kókó kó tó di pa kó ń bí.
ètò ṣe kókó
tàlàáfíà.
ó pé méjì ọ̀rọ̀ àlàáfíà àwọn hospitals wa then
youth
youth unemployment
kò sí nurses
kò sí doctor kò sí nurses àwọn èèyàn mú àgbo àwọn doctor ti sá lọ wọ́n ń jápa.
kí lẹ máa ṣe tẹ́ bá débẹ̀ tẹ́ bá dé hospitals kò sí doctor kò sí nurse.
Baba.
Briefly, ní ṣókí.
Baba.
Ní ṣókí.
Mo ti sọ ìgbà yìí tẹ́lẹ̀. Ìkíní ojú kòkòrò. Kíkọ́ tí a lè ṣe tí mo believe pé mo lè ṣe ń bẹ̀ láti fi kún owó tí àwọn ọmọ yẹn ń gbà. Nítorí owó tí wọ́n fún àwọn dókítà yẹn kò tó. Wọ́n gbọ́kàn tí àwọn ẹgbẹ́ wọn náà ń gbà. Àwa la máa sán ṣòkòtò wa.
ṣé bá fi kówó wọn ni.
a máa fi kówó wọn ni kò sí nǹkan tá a lè ṣe jù pé kán fi kówó wọn ká dẹ̀ fún wọn ní discipline ẹni tó bá síbi iṣẹ́ ẹ wo dókítà kan ṣo ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ níbi 3 lójúmọ́ ìjọba gbà wọ́n sanwó fún wọn wọ́n máa lọ sí private hospital wọ́n máa ṣiṣẹ́ lójoojúmọ́ káàkiri it's because they are not contented.
tàbí owó òtó.
ọjọ́ tí owó òtó torí bùkátà náà owó skul ti wọ́n gbogbo ti lé epo ti ní wọ́n lára gbogbo kan ti kò sí market control price tẹ́nìkan bá ta tomato ní 5 naira ìkan ta tiẹ̀ ní 10 naira ìkan ta tiẹ̀ ní 15 naira so kò ní mini but kíkọ́ ta lè ṣe the solution is that amenities tó wọ́n ká fún wọn ẹlòmíì gan irinṣẹ́ tó fẹ́ fi ṣiṣẹ́ wọn ò fún tábà fún wọn ká dẹ̀ fi owó kún owó wọn iṣẹ́ dókítà ọdún 7 ní skul kò ṣe díẹ̀.
àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wọ́n ní àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa.
ọ̀dọ́ kò síṣẹ́ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ wa ń jáde wọ́n ń kọ̀kadà.
ẹ gbàgbé bàbá ṣẹ́rí tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ yẹn mi ò lè ṣetán mi ò lè ṣetán but ó má dà pé mo ti ṣetán lílẹ́bù tí máa ṣe dé lágbára ọlọ́run mo sọ̀rọ̀ kan ìgbà mo ní ìgbà tí mo wà lọ́fíìsì mo pín sí ọ̀nà méjì ìgbà tí mo ń ṣe assembly ìgbà tí mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe nínú mi ń dùn pé mo ń lọ sí ipò gíga pé mo máa gba gbogbo àwọn tó ń tẹ̀lé mi tó dẹ̀ bá mi wọ singlet káàkiri tó kàwé but when I got there hardly I get to wọ́n rò pé ṣé bí mo ṣe máa ṣe lọ́dún mẹ́rin tí máa padà lọ léèyàn méjì ni máa gbà ní wọ́n máa kó fọ́ọ̀mù wa àtúwá ṣe surprise àwọn ọmọ wa tó ń ra fọ́ọ̀mù yẹn 4,000 5,000 lọ́wọ́ gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì àwọn rò pé kó olú wàhálà wò lélẹ̀ àdìsẹ́ fọ́mọ ìgbà tó yẹ kó fi jẹun tún fún wa fi ń ra fọ́ọ̀mù ó fọwọ́ dàbí pé bí àmọ́ ń rude àbí mo fẹ́ máa tako ẹgbẹ́ tí mo bá wọlé mo fi lọ faramọ́ sójà ọ̀gá sójà lálámàlà ni mo lọ faramọ́ pé ẹjọ́ tá a bá fẹ́ gba àyàn sójà tá a bá rọ ọmọ tó ní interest gbà tó ń bẹ̀ sí ní fún mi ní slot tó pọ̀ máa lọ kó àwọn ọmọ tó fẹ́ ṣe sójà ibẹ̀ ni mo ṣe ti rí èèyàn bí 500 gbà sọ́fí tí mo rí pé mo lè bọ́ síta pé mo gbàyàn lọ́fíìsì tí mo lọ agbàtọ̀ ọlọ́pàá àpàtì custom méjì péré ni mo rí ṣe torí yẹn wọ́n gan ó yẹ kó yẹ yín nǹkan tí mo sọ yẹn so in this regard.
owó mi ti bá wọ.
ó ní wàhálà nínú so aṣáṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ìyẹn la fi ṣe so in this regard àwọn míì nígbà tá a wò àwọn nǹkan náà a tún fún wọn ní irinṣẹ́ àwọn tó kọ́ṣẹ́ ọwọ́ nínú local government mi ìgbà ẹni mo ra ọ̀kadà bíi 200 fún àwọn youth ó lé 200 díẹ̀ fún àwọn youth tí ò níṣẹ́ níṣẹ́ tó máa pàgò lójoojúmọ́ kó máa jà ní garage kó máa kí ìyá máa wá ọmọ káàkiri kó dẹ̀ wá ń lù kó wà níbi tí wọ́n ti ń fa smoke I bought it for them almost 500 people ni mo ra sewing machine fún local government mi that is why tẹ bá dé local government ní sípè mo jáde fún governor wọn gbọ́dọ̀ PDP mọ́ wọn gbọ́dọ̀ APC mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ because wọ́n bìlì pé tó bá débẹ̀ ó ń bọ̀ wá ṣe dáadáa fún wọn ọkọ náà la máa lò fún àwọn eléyìí Ọlọ́run á bá wa ṣe.
adúpẹ́ púpọ̀ Mr. Chairman, thank you so very much. Eléyìí tó kù ń sìn náà ni pé kí adíje dupò wa kí wọ́n máa gbáradì láti wá sọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàbá Mr. Chairman sir ẹ máa bọ̀ ń bí sà ẹ máa bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn bàbá mo fẹ́ rántí láti dárúkọ èèyàn kan specially nbí brother wa Salaudeen Trimidi the deputy missioner Korib Muslim Organization of Nigeria wọ́n gbọ́ wọ́n dẹ̀ ta kẹ̀kẹ́ wá síbi ẹjọ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ níwájú bí sà ẹni tí mo kórúkọ ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ máa bọ̀ bí brother Trimidi Salaudeen Trimidi ẹ máa bá mi wà nínú ẹ máa bá mi dúró síbẹ̀ yẹn mashallah eléyìí tó kàn ní pé kí a gbé certificate pé wọ́n wá àwọn bàbá wa pè yín pé ẹ wá ó ní certificate a máa fún yín àwọn bàbá náà máa gbé fún yín èyí tó kàn ní pé kí ẹ bá mi gbé certificate ẹ fún bàbá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ bàbá wa ìmọ̀ọ́mù Ẹ̀gbá àwọn ni wọ́n ti fún wọn nìkankan ní certificate ẹ bá mi gbé fún wọn ọ̀nà bàbá mi gbé certificate fún adíje dupò yìí ẹ jẹ́ kí chairman kẹ bọ́sẹ̀gbẹ́ bàbá ẹ bọ́sẹ̀gbẹ́ bàbá lọ́hùn ok ẹni tẹ́ fẹ́ ya fọ́tò yẹn gbogbo wọn gbọ́dọ̀ yọ o gbogbo àwọn bàbá mi gbọ́dọ̀ yọ o chairman ẹ ti dí bàbá mi láti rẹ́mọ ẹ ti dí wọn o ẹ ti dí wọn o ẹ ti dí wọn gbogbo wọn gbọ́dọ̀ yọ gbogbo wọn pátápátá ẹ ṣeun ẹ ṣeun. náà ṣe gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n yọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹ ṣeun ẹ ṣeun that's alright ẹ ṣe ó kù group photograph ẹ bá mi dìde sà káyà group photograph pẹ̀lú adíje dupò wa brother Timothy ẹ bá mi join wọn ẹ join wọn yes bàbá wa secretary general.